Hello. I just wanted to do an expedited version of the Zoom AI tool when it comes to SOAP documentation and SOAP notes. And so, real briefly, just so you guys know, if I have a client by the name of Jamie Appleseed that needs a note completed, obviously I'll open her up directly on Simple Practice and click on the button that says Add Note. That will bring up this particular form. Obviously, it's a SOAP note, so I'll go select the right note that says SOAP note. And then I will gather all of her information. Now, obviously, because she is a dummy account, obviously, and I don't mean she's stupid, I just mean she's a dummy account, one that we practice on. There's no access ID. It's an individual service, it's telehealth, and obviously, I would locate where she is, right? So, private residence, sober living, whatever that might be. There's no break times for this particular session. And then, obviously, the goals of this session for this particular instance would be obtaining stable employment within 90 days and utilizing SMART goals. Future. Okay. And then as far as specific objectives, we'll work on develop 3 vocational skills, develop 1 healthy strategy, right? You guys are pretty familiar with that. Now, as far as the subjective, the objective, the interventions, assessment, and plans, I'm going to show you the easiest way to do this. If you come and take a look at your Zoom workplace, from your home screen, you'd go down to either the button that says Hub. If you don't see the hub, you'd click on the 3 dots and that'll show you the hub. And so for simplicity, I'm just going to pull up the documentation that was utilized yesterday in this meeting that I did with the client so I can kind of show you this, right? So this is Jamie's meeting summary, and it'll show you everything about that particular meeting. Now, I have the opportunity to highlight, edit, move things around in here, but for ease of your understanding, I'm just going to show you. Take all of this information and you highlight it all the way down to the next one-on-one, okay? Then I hit Command C, Control C, whatever it is on your device to copy it, and I am going to go ahead and create their document, right? And so I'll pull up Google, click on Gemini, and I will paste all that information in. Then I'll scroll all the way to the top to make sure that I'm at the top. The reason I do this is because this is where my prompt is going to go. And so this prompt is something I've come up with. You can all come up with your own. I'm not trying to tell you that you have to listen to exactly what my prompt is, but this one works for me. And I encourage you to figure out one that works for you. Feel free to use this, right? And so one thing that you'll notice immediately with my prompt is that it has a couple of blank sections, right? So for this, I know that this client is attending a peer support session that complies, and make sure to replace the client named Jamie in this case. Oops, can't type with client. And so the reason that I do this is it allows the output to be third party, right? Or third person, I guess is a better way to say that. So it won't have names, it'll instead have who the client is. You'll notice I write right here, replace the name Franklin, which is me, with BHTPRSS. Obviously, you would adjust that to match your name. And then as far as the output, it shows you that it's going to put it in paragraph format and separate the BHS, or excuse me, the BHT PRSS interventions into a short list that makes it really simple for any individual that's trying to figure out what the interventions are, which means what they did to assist the client, really were. And so if you have any questions about any of that, you can reach out to your team lead or you can contact me directly. Now, that being said, when I click output, watch what happens. Boom, just like that, we have a SOAP note. And so typically they're on point, but you always have to proofread them and make sure everything looks good, right? And so now that I'm done with the workplace, I'll close that and I'll move this over here and you'll see exactly how I do this. And so coming to the subjective, this is my subjective. The client reported experiencing significant distress, etc. And I'll let you guys read that on your own. I'm just showing you this quickly. For the objective, I read through, make sure everything is on point. You'll notice that it talks about specific, measurable, actionable, realistic goals, which is right on point with what we said we'd be doing in the goals. For the interventions, I'm going to skip those for a moment and go to the assessment. The assessment basically shows how this client performed, what progress was made during the session. So I'll copy that and paste that right there. And then the plan, obviously, are what's next for the client and what's next for me as the PRSS. But as I said before, we did not yet do the interventions. And so for the interventions, I'll come right over here and it'll tell me what I did. And so the BHT PRSS utilized peer support, active listening, and employment specialist interventions during the session to assist the client in navigating unemployment stressors. And so I can bring that right over to this other box, click on other, drop that in there, and then instructed the client, right? And so that's perfectly in line with one of the actual ones that we already have. And so I'll come up here and I'll type in BHT, PRSS, boom, instructed the client. Then analyze the client's job application approach. Because there's no pre-authorized template for that, I will add that to the other section. And then coordinated an agreement to restructure the client's resume. I will also add that to the other section. And then for the last one, affirmed and validated the client's proactive awareness. I will add that to the other section. Now for this other, I don't remember if I put the BHT or PRSS, and so I'm gonna always put that to highlight that it was me that did it. And just like that, the note is done. And so from there, we can close this, and you guys will see this note was completed in approximately 3 to 4 minutes, minus my talking. Obviously, you have to confirm calendar appointment link, so I always come back up here, make sure that session was for exactly what it is. It says 60 minutes here. If it was for 56 minutes, it would be adjusted, as would the actual units on the scheduled session on our simple practice calendar. But as simple as that, I click save. Now the note's ready to sign and share. I click sign and share, make sure my credentials and everything are there, and just like that, it's done. Hope that's going to help you. That's the fast version. Reach out for support.